So yes, good morning to all again. Because previously only few students were connected. Now I think 10 to 15 students are connected. So what are you all doing right now in these days? So Pratim, you are going for competitive programming. So where are you attending this? So no reply. So yes. So why I am carrying out this live session is, so if you are having any doubt relating to your subject, so please you can ask. So instead of going into Code Chef, I think you can go into this Kaggle competition. Nowadays, many competitions are going on for this COVID-19 dataset. So you can try one of them. It will be good. So what doubts are you having relating to the subjects? Anything that you would like to ask? So today, so please explain vectors in OOP. So okay, STL. So you can tell this is STL. Yes, okay. STL are this yes vectors. Yes, sorry for that. Actually, I forgot about it. So these are actually some dynamic arrays. Okay, so this we got a few that used vectors. So please, can you forward me the questions? What sort of programs that you did you get? So I hope you remember what it means. You have created something known as linked list, right? So vectors, you can imagine this as similar to this linked list. Okay. So what happens is we can dynamically allocate the size and I mean we can resize it. So, okay, I'll give you the syntax. Means it has got some functions also associated with it, like begin, and this so on. So what happens is it again returns a pointer to the means pointing to the first element in the vector. So just wait. I'll just see. So for including this vector, you have to means basically call this vector header file. So there these functions are defined, means begin, end, and so on. So based on this you can keep on means adding or reducing, I mean you can adjust the size of this particular data structure. So just wait, I will give you a sample program. See this again, I mean These are actually some complex data structures also. Means these are, if you remember, okay, we have not covered up templates yet. So it is, I think it will be good if we discuss template first, and then we will go to this vectors and this kind of things. Say first, what is a template? Template are this some user defined data types again. Templates, what can be done is, say you have got previously we were okay, what is it, and please explain tower of Hanoi. So just wait, we'll cover up this template and then we will go to this tower of Hanoi. See, tower of Hanoi problem is more related to your algorithms. Okay, so I think it will be so have you got this program in OOP, or have you got this program in your C++? Python. So Python, you can ask to your Python teacher who is teaching it, because Tower of Hanoi has nothing to do with your this. Yes, it is a standard problem in computer science, but basically it is being or it is taught up in this data structure and algorithms. So okay. Is it possible to share an image? So Tower of Hanoi, if you want to study, so what happens? See, Oprotim, please don't ask this all sorts of problem, because I have not taught your Kruskel and Tower of Hanoi. So whatever is related to your OOP, so please stick to it. Tower of Hanoi, there are three pegs and there are some disks. So what is the problem is you have to transfer all the pegs from one disk to another, so that, and there is also a limitation on the number of moves that you can make. So what you have to do is you have to means take the disks in the order. Means the order is this smaller size disk should be placed on the top and subsequent disk should be higher in size. So basically it is implemented with the help of this recursion. So you have to write a recursive function so that you can address this Tower of Hanoi problem. So how to view a problem in terms of OOP? So see, whenever you are going for object oriented programming, so what you have to do is you have to think in terms of class. Means how can you define a class or an object to define the problem. Like there will be a fixed class, sorry, I mean, yes, class definition means which will describe about the data which will or which will be specified in the program. Next, you will create the functions which will operate on those data whatever is required for the operation of the class. Like I'll give you an example. Like you want to uh, say maintain the account of say employees in university. So just let's just take up this example. So if I want to maintain this account, so what are the things that I need to have? First, say I can have the employee IDs of the employees in the university. Next, I can have the name. Next, I can have the department. Next, I can have the designation. So Now again we can also have different sorts of this inheritances, like uh, the whatever data is required for a professor, it might not be required for say a security guard. So we can segregate again it in terms of inheritance, and then say we can define some functions like what is the salary, so what is the income tax, what is the this sort of grade pay, and this kind of things. So in this way you can actually means divide a program into logical parts so that you can fit it in terms of your OOP. Now, whenever you are learning a programming language, the basic essence is you have to understand how the program is flowing, first of all. Next, what you can do is whatever is required for you to address the problem, you have to fit the concepts with respect to that particular programming language. So, is it clear, Mehtab? So, I am sharing a link, so please read it. So, this is related to your templates. So, all of you, please go to this particular link and see. So, have you viewed the link, or have you at least opened it? See, Conex. So, I am actually confused. What problem you have? Konigsberg problem. See, this Traskel and this Konigsberg problem, these are related to your graph traversals. Okay, so I think it will be better if you ask Tanuja ma'am relating to this. Okay, so Konigsberg bridge problem, what happens is there are seven bridges across, I think, four or five islands. So, issue is you have to create a cycle, or I think such kind of path, closed path, so that you traverse all the bridges and all the islands only once. And Kraskell algorithm is actually again finding the, I think, minimum spanning tree or such kind of thing. So I think it will be better if you ask Tanuja ma'am relating to this Kraskell and Konigsberg bridge problem. So have you opened the link that I shared? Okay, I'm explaining. So if you see here, what they're telling is a template is a simple and yet powerful tool in C. The simple idea is to pass data type as a parameter so that we don't need to write the code for different data types. For example, okay, so just see the example here, what they have given. Template type name T, T, MyMax, TX, TY. Okay, so what they're telling is here if you see type name and then T. So here if you see the below example, int main cout mymax, in one case they have passed int to this particular function, okay, and in other case they have passed car. Means what? You will create generic functions which can accept multiple classes as the input argument. So in the first case, if you see this int main part, you will see that my max int 3 comma 7 means they have defined this function my max. So this is again returning this t as the out return type of the function. So if you see here in one case this function is accepting int as input arguments and also returning int as output argument, whereas in the other case it is accepting card as the input argument and returning card as the output argument. Now you have replaced this data. So if you see here you have replaced the see whenever we define a function we always specify the data type. Means say I am defining a function say fun1. So first will be the return type say void fun say int comma int. We generally specify it in these terms, right? Means what we are telling the compiler that okay, this function one will accept two input arguments which will be of type int. Now instead of here explicitly specifying the type, you are telling that it will be of a generic type. So you are naming this generic type as t. Now when you call the function you will explicitly specify what type it will be. So it will be again something so an added flexibility to your this program. So that so which sir I am not clear Muzakir. What did you say sir that n is also included in int data type? So please see Opratim, don't means deviate from the topics that we are telling. See, have you Muzakir, have you opened this Geeks for Geeks link? See, please open this link that I shared previously, Geeks for Geeks org slash templates dash cpp. So here there is an example for your this template. Yes, Jyotirma, you are correct. Means what? You can replace T with whichever data type you want to means you want the function to work on. Okay. I have not given anything relating to your this files and this kind of thing. So okay, so let's just continue. So if you see here, you have created a generic type or a template function or means a generic function which can accept any type of argument. So how you are specifying this so that it can I mean accept any type of generic arguments, this is with the help of template. So template type name t that you have given, it will work, and then the function definition. So everything you have to specify in terms of t. Now while you call the function, you can specify the data type that you want to pass into the function. So t is the template that you are creating, right? So t is only a place variable to represent this template. So you have to represent this in the definition, right? So this t is actually representing that only. So template type name t. So this t will serve as the placeholder for this. See here, wherever they have written t, this is explicitly where you uh, place this int or card in a function, right? So this t will only serve as the placeholder. Okay. So whenever you are actually calling the program, this t will be replaced with whatever data type that you are passing into the function. Is it clear, Mehdi? So below again you will get some more functions. So please go through it. So like function templates, you can also create this class templates also. Same concept goes there also. So template, then type name t, then whatever you want you can define. Yes, t is not a data type but only a placeholder to denote the data type. So I think this link is quite comprehensive. You will get everything there. So there below you will see that they have also given what is difference between function overloading and template. So yes, templates are also example of polymorphism only. So function overloading is used when multiple functions do similar operation. Templates are used when multiple functions do identical operations. So please go through this link. Yes, this is the syntax basically. Template, then within this brackets, you have to give type name and the t. So these are reserved keywords, template and type name. So t is again user defined. You can replace t with a, b, c, whatever you want. And please try to do these examples. Okay, so when you means write the code, then only the working of these things will be clear. So next, you asked about vectors, right? So when we declare class T, does that mean class is of type T? Yes. Generally, you are taking this as some. I think in the example there is nowhere defined in this format class T. If you see the example relating to this class template, so just see there class template. If you are having any doubt, class function like function template, class templates are useful when a class defines something that is independent of the data type. So can be useful using linked list binary trains. So here if you see the example, what is generic? Okay, we'll come to that. So, okay, I'll go through this in wait, Mehdi, just wait, I'll tell what is generic. So, the class template example that is given there. So, here also, if you see, they are again having the similar sort of definition like template type name T. So, just go to the class template section in that particular web page. I'll just explain it again so that you guys don't get confused. So here if you see they are having class array, they are defining, then private T star ptr int size public array T array int. So this is the constructor. Okay, because why it is a constructor? Array is the same class name as my class that I am defining here. So here if you see they are again passing ts parameters. Okay, so this T will be replaced by whatever data type you want. So template type name T, array T, then scope resolution operator T array. So this is the thing that they are defining. So they are now trying to define the constructor. So you can substitute the entire definition in the public section only, but they are defining the constructor outside of the class definition. So don't get confused here. So template type name T, again they have given, then array T followed by scope resolution array T arr brackets ints ptr is equal to new ts. So s is equal, so here they are basically taking up an array of any type that you want. Then again they are defining the print function also. Now please see here, they are always defining the template type name before the function definition. Now why they are defining this? So that it does not get, or the compiler does not get confused between the subsequent definitions. So here if you see in main function what they have done, int arr5, they have given 1 2 3 4 5, then arr sorry array int a, and then arr comma 5. So here they have passed the data type to the object of the class array. So array is the name of the class followed by the parameter which is my int, and a is the object, and arr is a simple array variable, and 5 is the size. So here they have defined the object is a, and then they have called this print function a dot print and finally return 0. So is the second example clear what they have done? So these are explicitly used to, I mean, pass different types of data type to the same function or class, whatever you want. So these are creating some generic type of classes or function. Now moving to generic. Generic means what? If you go by this English definition, generic. So what does it mean? So basically generic means what? Relating to a genus or this kind of things. Means what? Character generic means it is not specific, means characteristics relating to a class or group of things. Means you won't specify the things while you are defining it, but when the program will get executed then only will give the pattern. Means it has the ability to reshape it itself. Means if you see here you have defined a function which can explicitly accept in arguments which are of any type. Okay, so means what, you have created a generalized type of function. So it is for this reason it is known as generic. Means you are creating a generalized sort of function or class. So वहां से actually this generic comes up. Means the function is generalized. Now it can be molded to accept int, it can be molded to accept car or whatever you want. Is it clear, Mehdi? Generic basically, if you see here, you have written what is generic, sir. So generic basically means generalized. Okay. Yes, Apratim, here if you are declaring anything as I means t as int, so this entire function or class whatever you have given, it will be accepting ints only. Predefined means what? Which is already defined. No, no, no. Generic and predefined are not the same things. Generic means what? Generalized, and predefined means which has been already defined. So next I will give this STL thing. An example of generic term. Okay, generic term. So you all are hearing about these generic medicines, right? So what are these? Hey, please, what means generic? I understand that this generic function term is not clear, but what is not clear exactly? The term or its application? See, I'll give you an example. Means basic examples, not related to my programming language. So you all are hearing this generic application in the program. So here it is not generic application, it is generalized application. Okay. So if you see here template, you are creating a generalized function or class. Means what? This function can accept any type of input arguments. It can be int, it can be char. Means based on the demand of the user, you are placing or you are giving the specific data types as input to the function or class. Okay. So this function that you have defined, it is independent of data types. No, not any type of or any number of input arguments. So if you see in the previous example, just move to the first example. Here what you have done. Template type name t, t mymax, tx, ty. So if you see here, you have created a function which is mymax. Now the return type of this particular function is t, and it is accepting two arguments which are x and y. Now x and y are of type t. Now this t here specifies that it is a template. Okay, so you can replace this with any type of data type that you want. So here mymax can accept only two arguments because you have defined it here that it will accept x and y which are of type t. It cannot accept anything else. And again it will return also a single argument which is of type T. Okay. Generally, if I want to define this in terms of int, how will I define? Int mymax, int x, and int y. Then return x greater than y. So if x is greater than y, then it will return x, or else it is going to return y. So this is a inline definition that you have given here. So by default, it will return a single argument only. So it is of type T. Now this T T's can be replaced with int and char whatever you want. Is it clear? Now moving to this generic concept or term. So if you go by this generic medicine, so what happens that generic medicines basically contain some compounds which are used, means it does not have any sort of labeling or this kind of things. It is only having this compound, whereas the named medicines, they are having some fixed sort of compounds. So is it clear, this generic thing? Oh, sir, there is a link above the first example about generics in C++. Where is it basically? Can you please specify? Okay, I have got it. Generics in C. It is so it is telling, just open the link. It is telling the same thing only, right? That I told. Generic is the idea to allow type, integer, string, etc., and user defined types to be a parameter to method, class, and interfaces. So I am telling the same thing only, right? I did not tell anything else. Means what? You will replace this with the parameters that you want or the type that you want. So generic programming also, uh, basically it is used for this program reusability, so that you don't need to write anything, means write separate function. So you are writing a single function, you just replace the parameter types and you can use the same function over and over again. So it is helping in this code reusability. Why type name is used? So type name basically is a standard keyword. So it is the syntax that they have defined. So I cannot do anything else. So you have to remember this at least. So I think it will be very good while coming or while going into live sessions. Previously, whatever doubts you have, you just post in the group, and then I will take this in your live session. So I think it will be more helpful in this way, because while going live, if you I mean sometimes today I have seen that it becomes a bit difficult to explain the things. So previously, if you just give it in advance, so that I just prepare some materials and this kind of things. Pomodoro technique for performing a task in your, no, I don't use such kind of techniques. So okay, in the next class we will take up this vector and standard template library and this kind of things. Okay, so I think it is, if you want I will just give it again. So meanwhile you can see this link STL. These are actually out of the scope of this syllabus to an extent, this vector and this kind of things. So it is for this reason I was previously telling that it is not required. So you can open up this second link. You can have this standard template library. So these are generally used for your data structures. Okay. Means for creating this different types of data structure, you can use this STL. So I don't think it is required to that extent. Means we won't cover up this much in your theory. Yes, we will define it. So templates are required, but not this STL libraries and this kind of things. So these are some advancements, right? So iterators, if you see, so these are some you can say sequence of values only. Means what? Eh, if you want to relate it with your C, so you always have this. Say if you are going for initializing a loop, you use some counter. So iterators here means that only. So here what it does, it points to a particular memory address. Okay. So okay, if you want, I will take up this STL and this vector thing later on, but I don't think it is much required for your theory, because in theory there are already many things which we can cover up. So who has given you this vector and STL thing? So I don't. Yes, STLC is a generalized template library, so it can be used for multiple functions. So error detection might be one. So while going means in before STL, if you don't know what is a template, so I don't think you can understand what this STL means. So if you see the examples of this vector and this kind of things, they are, if you'll see that vector int, so they are basically using up templates there. Okay. So STL, yes, generically like what is that? What is a template and this kind of things are required, but I don't think syllabus covers up your STL. Just wait, I'll check the syllabus whether this is there or not. Okay. So fine. Yes, templates are there. Okay. So templates are there in your syllabus, but not this STL and this kind of things. Template, anyways, I would cover up. Like what is a function template means. I would cover up eventually, but this STLs are not required because this is used for data structures. So now I hope that you can understand this STL things also, because if you see here vector and this kind of things, whatever they're defining, it is using template by default. Okay, so 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 these are some other questions which you can ask later on. So what I meant was, from now what I will be doing is I will be sharing the videos whatever I find which is most related to that particular topic in YouTube. I won't be preparing the materials explicitly. Next, after sharing, so be prepared, within this month I will share the major parts of the syllabus in your Google Classroom. Okay. After this, what you have to do is, or what I'm thinking, because what I can guess is you guys are not studying to that extent. So I will be asking you to prepare presentations which you will record and then you will send it. And based on this, I will evaluate and give you marks. So this will be your second assignment. So by the time I give second assignment, I will already share the materials, and each or all of you will prepare a particular topic in that. Materials I will share, and after that you will prepare. So your performance in that video will be just as assignment 2. Okay, so if next live session, so from now I will be taking regular live sessions. So next will be on Thursday, and after that we'll continue on Saturday again. Next Tuesday will start. So sequence will be Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. So every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday we will meet at 11 a.m. Okay, so thank you all for listening. So yes, okay, then thank you. I will end. Yes, so this won't be this handwritten assignment. It will be a video that you have to prepare. Okay, and you have to send it to me. You can use your laptop. See, quality wise, it does not matter much to me, because I know while recording a video what sort of trouble it takes. So quality does not matter. Only thing is your voice and your PPT that you will present in the video, that will be. But before that, I will share all the materials whatever will be required. And please read this OOP. Yeah, sorry, COA. So just open. If you don't know how to shoot a video, shoot. Then I have nothing to say, because you are studying computer science. You should know how to record a video and this kind of things. So just sit in front of the laptop and just say whatever you want. So based on this only I will judge. So moreover, you can use other softwares to present the screen. So these options are available. You can use a software known as this. I'll just give you the name. OBS Studio you can use. So this is very good in capturing this. You can capture screen as well as camera and this kind of things. So this will be in the later half. Means by the end of this month you will get this sort of assignment. Probably after 25th. But before 25th, I will share all the materials or at least the major materials which will be required for your this video, and each student will get a single topic only. So it does not matter. I'm also going for this live session with my laptop camera only. Yes, I know it is noisy, but at least I am not concerned, or I am. It is not my concern to see your face that clearly. My concern is whatever you are saying or whatever concept you are presenting, is it sufficient or not? So even if your face does not get recorded that well, I don't have any issue. But whatever content you are presenting, that should be correct. Okay. This assignment will be of 20 marks. I'll check by today or tomorrow and I'll let you know. Means you will and videos relating to your so sir, college may be open soon, so sir we can present there. College cup, I don't think college will open before your June. And it's because government has already opened this. Yes, we have got a notification yesterday, but it depends because now, even now also the this effect of this virus has not reduced. Instead, it has increased many folds. So I think it is a matter of concern. Means how we will tackle this thing up in future. So I was also hoping that it will open up by this May. So इसलिए in the second half of this April month, I did not prepare anything much relating to your video. But now I see this that it is going to continue for very long. So it is, or I feel that I'll take up your classes online only, and I'll try to finish the syllabus as much as I can. So if your college opens up, then it is a separate story. But by then you will have all the materials and notes also, and we can go very fast there. But if it does not open up, then what you need to do? Because the nature of this virus, coronavirus, is very different. So it does not get detected that easily also. So once it gets detected, so you'll see that many people are affected. So I don't know what will be the course of action in future, but we have to go on. Okay, thank you. Then I will end the stream now.